Today we'll be covering the 4 learning methods. I'm Tabitha Hernandez from Post University. We'll cover the following agenda, which will include 4 learning models, discussing the overview of each learning model as well as the benefits and drawbacks, best practices, and which learning models are currently best for my educational field. The 4 learning models consist of the following: traditional and face-to-face, which instructors and students meet in a classroom or in another in-person setting. Well-facilitated is courses that use web-based technology to facilitate what is essentially a face-to-face course. Also uses a course management system or web pages to post syllabus and assignments. Blended and hybrid is the way e-learning is being combined with traditional classroom methods and independent study, which includes both face-to-face instruction and online learning. This model ensures that the learner is engaged in driving individual learning experiences. And the last one we'll discuss is online learning method or model, which is primarily entirely online and typically has no face-to-face meeting. Traditional face-to-face, typically seen from pre-K to college. Teachers direct students to learn through memorization and recitation techniques to include critical thinking, problem solving, and decision-making skills. Traditional schools stress basic educational practices and expect mastery of academic learning in the core subjects of math, reading, writing, science, and social studies. Other alternatives to the traditional public school include independent schools that operate outside the public school, which includes religious schools, homeschool, and online learning. The new Common Core standards adopted by 45 states ensure more consistency. Some of the benefits to this model includes gauging learning. Faculty members are able to gauge their students' level of engagement, attentiveness, and comprehension. Students' questions become immediate feedback from the instructor and shape how the class material is being presented as well as retained. Collaborative environment. Traditional classrooms often create a collaborative environment where discussion and dialogue can thrive. Peer-to-peer student-faculty conversations allow students to receive immediately individual feedback and mentorship to hone their speaking and argumentative skills as well as to form lasting interpersonal relationships. Student motivation. Some students find face-to-face classes particularly engaging because they can talk to the professors in person and get an immediate response to their questions or concerns. Face-to-face classes also provide a structure for students in which class time becomes a routine part of their schedule. Student access and support. Both students and campus services include disability resources for students as well as advising and tutoring centers. Faculty experience. This is very familiar and comfortable with this model because the faculty not only have experience from the many years of teaching, but also experience from assisting different students with different issues. Some of the drawbacks include pace. This model, many faculty members can provide individualized or customized learning experience. With students who may need extra time to understand certain concepts may end up being left behind. Impediment to engagement. Students may be intimidated or embarrassed to ask for clarity during class. So with this model, it can also limit opportunities for active learning and often hamper student engagement. Scheduling can become an issue because students must arrange so they can be there in person, which may limit to classes for those working part-time or full-time, as well as those that may have childcare issues. Access and support. Some accommodations. Sign language interpreters must be individually arranged for the faculty, guest speakers, and students with disabilities. Large class challenges. Having over 100 students, classroom management issues can be especially difficult. Students arriving and leaving throughout the class, extensive multitasking, and or distracting other students from learning. Technical problems. Variety of educational technologies provided in classrooms often present challenges for faculty, including hardware and software that aren't fully accessible to faculty with disabilities. Some of the best practices for this model includes all ages can benefit in standard-based assessment and standardized tests as instructors prepare those students for advancing. Well-facilitated model is web-based teaching methods, the shared types of interaction, performance level, or teacher versus students control and feedback. Some of the benefits of this method includes individualized learning. Learners are given greater control over the learning environment by allowing them to select from among multiple different learning opportunities within the course and move at their own pace. Communication and online discussion allows learners to tailor participation to their needs. Those desiring or requiring more time for study and reflection can use it, as well as distant learning and constant message can learn over a great distance, and it overcomes physical distances and facilitate the teaching of students scattered across different locations. Economics of scale: one educator can reach countless learners at a lower cost. Flexibility scheduling: flexibility in not only the physical location but time and participation. Multi-format can provide content in a range of formats, including text, audio, video, interactive, question, answer, for example, online quizzes, exams, multimedia interaction, including audio and video conferencing. Easy access includes web-based content that's now easily accessible to most parts of the world, ranging through devices such as computers, tablets, smartphones, etc. Some of the drawbacks include social isolation, flexibility in time, location, which means the learner often studies alone over time, which may lead to social isolation. Technical problems are inevitable with virtually all instructional media. As instructional media becomes more dependent upon technology, the impact of technology and technical problems becomes greater. Poor instructional design: the quality of instructional design varies in all teaching settings. The websites can be viewed and critiqued by all users. De-individualized instruction fails to respond to the individual needs or the learner. The cost offsetting the potential economics of sale. The large upfront costs while converting textbooks, syllabus, and lectures into web-based formats can be very expensive. Some of the best practices from this model: the majority of the users range from the ages 17 to 30 plus, as well as the ability to extend engaging in discussion from a physical classroom to a discussion board, as well as the opportunity to network with many resources as well as personnel. Blended hybrid method typically is seen in kindergarten and 8th grade settings. Best blended learning programs require a combination of technology, great software, and teacher training. Station rotation: students rotate through set stations within a classroom or a group of classrooms. Lab rotation includes students going to a lab. Computer lab typically as a whole class or in groups. The flipped classroom setting: the students primarily learn online outside of the classroom. Flex disruptive: usually implemented within high school and college students. Learning is almost exclusively online, mostly on a campus and a large collective space. Face-to-face support is flexible and adaptive, and many of the benefits include individualized learning, collaboratory learning, which is collaboration between the students and the instructor, can increase substantially via online training platform with many collaboration tools, including online discussion, blogs, instant messages. Students are able to connect with each other in or out of the classroom. increased accessibility, which improves access as well as students' attitudes towards learning. These students are given the tools to access the course materials anytime, anywhere. Better communication. Communication is improved between lecturers and part-time and full-time students. An online training platform can provide many communication tools such as news announcements, emails, instant messaging, online discussions, online grading tools, drop boxes, and much more. Successful evaluations. Better student evaluations via the use of online training, testing, assessments with reporting features. Oftentimes, the student can evaluate themselves better, as well as with immediate grading and feedback. Fun. It's just fun. Blended learning courses have proven to be more engaging for various student groups, from elementary school to postgraduates and advanced trainees. Some of the drawbacks include strong technological dependency. The tech resources and tools need to be reliable, easy to use, and up to date in order to use the internet to have a meaningful impact on the learning experience. Lack of IT knowledge. IT literacy can use as a significant barrier for students attempting to get access to the course material, and not having the support available. Students can fall behind. The use of lecture recording technologies can result in students falling behind on the material. Nearly half of all students will wait and watch several weeks worth of videos in one sitting rather than on a regular basis. Plagiarism. Once your class is visually internet friendly, some can withstand the temptation of looking things up. Now, students need to understand some of the online resources can be biased, distortion, as well as misrepresentation of the facts. Some of the best practices, again, is generally seen in kindergarten and 8th grade settings and require a combination of technology, great software, and teacher training. Online model. 3 principles: engage students in content, promote student-teacher, student-student interaction, as well as strive for presence, which recommends successful online teaching. Student interaction with faculty and other students is an essential characteristic and facilitated through a variety of ways, including email. Feedback to student assignment and questions is constructive and provided in a timely manner, and students are instructed in proper methods of effective research, including assessments of validity of resources. Many of the benefits for this model include convenience and flexibility. Students can do coursework on their own schedule at their own pace. This flexibility facilitates balancing school, work, and or family obligations, enabling students to access more courses. Faculty members who teach online can also take advantage of the schedule and flexibility to balance teaching and their own personal obligations, as well as professional duties such as research, services, and mentoring students. The opportunity for both instructors and students to work from home allows transportation-related costs and time savings. Reviewing material. Students can often rewatch recorded lectures, repeat exercises, reread peer discussion comments, and take the time they need to master concepts, which could be particularly advantageous for English language learners, for students who are struggling in a particular subject, as well as for students who are juggling classes, part-time jobs, and family responsibilities. Student motivation. Some students may find online work more engaging as they interact with the material when they are freshest and most productive. Instant grading tools, commonly used in online classes for some discipline, enable students to test their understanding and get immediate feedback. For pressure on limited space, online education can reduce pressure on university facilities by freeing up classrooms. Assessment. Online exercises and assessments provide an opportunity to collect additional data on student learning that instructors can use to track individual student progress and revise and improve course designs. Access and support. Online classes provide vital access to place-bound populations and other groups traditionally underserved by institutions of higher education. If designed to be accessible to everyone, for example, captions on videos and other features to make coursework accessible to students and faculty with disabilities. Accessibility can be seen as a particular important to public institutions with an education mandate to serve the citizens. Technical issues can be addressed centrally. Some of the drawbacks include community. Online courses may not be able to replicate the vibrant intellectual and social community fostered by the in-person education. In particular, online students may miss out on the many networking and mentoring opportunities available to on-campus students. However, as well-designed online classes, the opposite can be true. Students who rarely speak up in face-to-face classes are drawn into conversations through mandatory online discussion board posts and peer response. Instructor workload. Faculty members often need training to use technology tools such as lecture capture systems and learning management systems, representing an additional time investment on their part. And in online courses, instructors often seek to compensate the lack of in-person. So they find innovative ways to lead. Student support. Some students, including those with disabilities, may struggle to use online tools and will likely need technology support. Technical problems. It is not necessary if the program is going to fail, is when. Servers often crash. Some students are cut off from their classes. Individual personal computers can be malfunctioned, and other problems may arise within the site or the host of the class. This presents a challenge not only for instructors and their students, but also the department or the university responsible for providing administrative support and significant IT staff. Access. Some potential students have limited or no access to computers, the internet, and or assistance with technology. Some of the best practices from this model. Majority of the users range from the ages of 17 and 24, and it's convenient and cheaper. Learning models best for my field includes face-to-face, web facilitated, and online. All of these target adult learners, which for my field, we have majority of adult learners, as my field is part of the military. The Army Learning Model, which is ALM, seeks to increase quality, relevance, and effectiveness of face-to-face learning experiences. Also seeks to extend learning beyond the schoolhouse, like a residential course, to preparing to deliver some point of need online distant learning. ALM supports the integration of technology for instructor delivery, which provides opportunities presented by virtual environments, online gaming, and mobile learning. Students working together to construct knowledge from their collective experiences is a better way of creating learning engagement as well as reinforcing retention of the material. And that has been, with all three of these models, a best practice in my field of the Army. This reference page includes all the reference that I use, as well as where you can gather more information and go a little more in depth on the 4 learning models.